Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about the YieldMax ETFs Payday. How much we're going to get paid for the month of October. Let's get it. So the first thing I want to point out is that yesterday was actually the payday for the YieldMax ETFs, but because we have multiple platforms, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to actually process the dividends and to get them into our accounts. M1 Finance is a good example of this. It typically takes a day after the payment date to get paid any dividends. This is what we've been seeing this for years. It really hasn't changed. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing I want to pull up here is our payment on NVIDIA on M1 Finance. As you guys can see, we got $7.45 in dividends, $2.23 in gains. That's actually unrealized gains because we don't really like to take profit on any of these positions unless our cost basis is, I would say, at least $800 to $1,000. So that way, if we're getting like 2 to 5% or something like that, it's actually worth it to sell for profit and then reposition back in. So why am I bringing up the NVIDIA chart? Well, if we scroll down here on the overall portfolio, as you guys can see, we have Apple, we have NVIDIA still. We have not really bought or sold much of these. We also have OARC. As you guys can see, we still have our OARC position. And we have Tesla still. So our Tesla position here, we have not really added any to it. And the reason being is because we already have a pretty large position here, as you guys can see, just on this portfolio alone. But even with that being said, the price is $3.20 under our cost basis per share, but because of the dividends, we are more or less pretty much almost at break even. We would probably just need to see the price of Tesla go up to like $14.50 a share or something like that to be at essentially break even. So the reason we bring this up, and for those of you guys that use M1 Finance, you'll know what I'm talking about here because you probably called M1 yourself and found out that something weird is going on. So as you guys can see here on the dividends tab, let me actually transfer this over to dividends. So you guys can see that we got paid from OARC and Apple last night, which was the actual payment date. We can verify this here by, this is basically the Tesla ETF on the YieldMax website. So this is YieldMaxETFs.com. We're on the Tesla one, or Tesla one, I mean, you can go to our ETFs and then go and click on the tab. And you guys can see the most recent payment date was yesterday, but like we said, it takes a day to process on M1, so we didn't see the payout. We weren't expecting to see the payout right away. So with that being said, we actually only got paid from 2 of these. We're still waiting to get paid from NVIDIA and Tesla. I actually called them this morning myself and was like, hey, what's going on? Like, why are the dividends not in my account? Because usually they are at the start of the trading day, or usually they are, typically before this point in the day. And I'm off today. I'm not working today. So was expecting to see those payments here, but they're not here. So I called them and I was like, hey, what's going on? And they basically told me in short that pretty much what they're trying to do is migrate so they have a clearinghouse that they use that is not within M1 Finance that they've been using for a long time. And apparently they're trying to migrate over to their own clearinghouse. So I guess it's like an in-house clearinghouse kind of thing. And so as a result of that, that's the reason why we haven't gotten paid these dividends yet. So they said they were going to try to process it by the end of the day. We'll see if that happens. If not, it's, I guess, apparently going to take a couple of days for them to process it and get the payouts to us. And that's fine. We've already calculated how much it would be based on the amount of shares that we have. So with that being said, this is actually the wrong one, sorry. So this is the total amount of dividends that we would have gotten paid from M1 Finance, which is $329.32. The 317 number here, this is basically the 549 shares we have of Tesla combined with the dividend payment, which was just under 58 cents per share. The 745 was from NVIDIA, and then you have the other 2 here, OARC and Apple, as you guys can see here. And just to kind of prove the point, as you guys can see, the NVIDIA is not actually under the dividends tab, but it will show up under the actual holdings here. So if we go to this pie that we have within a pie here, and we scroll down, go to NVIDIA. Once again, we started on this page, so you see what I'm talking about here. The 745 in dividend shows up here, but it does not show up under activity yet, which means that it's processing. So with that being said, we made $329.32 from M1 Finance, and this is just for our YieldMax ETFs. It doesn't include other payouts that we've gotten over the month. As you guys can see, we have a lot: PFLT, PDI, BITO, TLTW, MPW, Philip Morris, Leggett & Platt, Horizon, and we'll probably be getting more at the end of the month as well. So we're going to go over to Robinhood now. So I believe the Robinhood one was, we got paid $87.58 in total from Robinhood. Yeah, this is definitely the one. So we'll go ahead and click on each tab here just so we can show you guys. So we got paid $15.50 from ORC. As you can see here, we have, trying to see what the amount is. We have 46.3 shares. Go back over to the investing tab. We'll click on Tesla. We have 50 shares of Tesla. Currently, our cost basis is down about $1 a share, and that's fine. We expect as much because, you know, markets have just kind of been chopping all over the place. They're not really going up or down per se. So you guys can see that we have a dividend payment here of $28.85, although it's pending. Again, we're not expecting to get paid out on the day of the payment date. It usually takes a day to process through the brokerage, so that's typically how it works. We're patient, you know, we're fine with that as long as it does show up. That's what we care about. So we got Apple here, and you guys can see Apple paid us $631. And FB, we got paid $586 from FB right here. We'll keep going down. Coney, we did pick up quite a few shares of Coney, and even after the payout from Coney, because we think this is going to be a great position to hold over the next year in terms of passive income and maybe even gains, because the crypto bull run is coming up. So we got 1511 from this particular ETF. And we'll just keep going down the list here. We got GUI, which is the Google ETF. We do plan on buying more of this for sure. Now that we are monetized on YouTube, we absolutely want to be doubling down and making as much money from Google as possible. So we got 312 on the Google Income ETF, or GUI, I should say. AMZ, we got paid $570, as you can see right here, $570, 16 hours ago. And the last one, which in our opinion, not financial advice, but it's still a great buying opportunity right now, would be Enfley, because as you can see, the price is pretty low. If you take a look at the maximum history here, you guys can see that this thing has really dropped significantly. This is the ideal time to pick it up when it's down, you know, as much as it is right now. So we got 713 from these guys. So this is the dividends that we're going to get paid out this month, or we have gotten paid out this month from all these YieldMax ETFs. And as you guys can see here, we have picked up a little bit of clip since the last time we made a video about our holdings, and also a lot of triple QY. We are going to pick up some JEPY too. We're just not going to do it quite yet. We're going to focus on one that offers the most payout, and we're going to see what the payouts are for the following months to determine which one we want to buy next. Plus there's also clip, the dividend. The dividend payout and X date is coming up for that soon. So we're going on to Webull. As you guys can see, our account balance is up a little bit. We have some buying power here. Reason being is because we've been holding our dividend payouts in cash. We have reasons for that, but you know, like we said before, we want to have plenty of cash on the side just in case the Fed decides to try to rug pull people, which is possible. We don't think that's likely to happen, but it could. It's always a possibility. I mean, the Fed is kind of dictating or guiding the narrative of the markets right now. So as you guys can see here, yesterday it cleared pretty much immediately. We got 2812 from ORC, we got 669 from Apple, and 7584 from NVIDIA. If we go over here to our holdings, you can see we have 112 shares of NVIDIA, 14 shares of Apple, and 84 shares of ORC. And we also still have some other positions. We have our crypto positions here as well. Riot and both Mara are down, but they look like they're having kind of a bottoming out pattern here, or a major support base, which is typically what happens, what we look for, one of the many factors that we look for when it comes to swing trading. SoundHound's doing something very similar. This is not one we've talked a lot about on this channel, but has some pretty strong support between 160 to 180. ALT, again, has been bottoming out for, I would say, at least a couple of months now, and it's starting to move up. If we get a break above this resistance here, we're expecting it to push up to at least 340. What we're looking for on the long term here, not that this has anything to do with this video, but we're on this portfolio already, so we might as well talk about it, is a move all the way up to about 16 to 17 bucks, and then we'll take profit at that point. So going over all these dividends, so we got 110.65 from Webull, 87.58. So 87.58 from Robinhood, and 329.32 from M1 Finance. And keep in mind, this is just the YieldMax ETFs, not our other holdings either. So far in this month, we've gotten paid $527.55. Now, if we do forward projections earnings on the CLIP ETF, we're expected to get paid right now, assuming the dividend remains the same as the last payout, $249.65. So if we add that on there as well, now you're talking about $777 on the month. So anyways, this is our video on how much we're getting paid in the month of October from the YieldMax ETFs. Another thing that I want to point out today is, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but as you guys can see here, the S&P is kind of ripping to the upside, so it's pushing all these different stocks up with it. But a lot of these YieldMax ETFs are actually up on the day. You can see that there's only a few that are down. So Enfleet is down a little bit. NVIDIA's down a lot, which is a great buying opportunity. MSFO, Apple are mostly flat, and pretty much everything else is up. So that's definitely nice to see. The stocks above the 50-day moving average has moved up from what we told you guys about prior, which was about 10%, to all the way now up to 31%, and the NASDAQ is almost at 50%. So anyways, we hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see y'all later. Peace.